You're listening to When Liberty Remembers, the Republic Emerges, a series for the ones who feel the shift, the ones who know something is wrong but can't always name it. This is where the forgotten architecture of freedom is revealed, one truth, one gate, one awakening at a time. Season 5, Episode 2, The Bite, How Ego Was Born. Before humanity ever built a throne, a court, a nation, or a law, something far more intimate was constructed inside the human mind. A division, a fracture, a quiet splitting of the self into two competing kingdoms. At that moment, the moment myth calls the bite, became the origin story of every form of bondage that followed. The fall was not a cosmic crime. It was the birth of the ego. And once ego entered, unity left. Not because God withdrew, but because human consciousness folded in on itself and could no longer bear the sight of its own naked truth. The ancient story says their eyes were opened, but they were not opened to reality. They were opened to judgment. Suddenly, the self became something to evaluate, hide, compare, fear, control. Suddenly, the mind learned how to imagine itself through the imagined eyes of others. And that right there was the first chain. The bite created a kind of inner courtroom, one where the self was both defendant and prosecutor, both witness and judge. A courtroom without mercy, without due process, without truth, only fear wearing the robe of authority. This was the birth of shame, hiding, self-consciousness, distrust, the need for approval, the terror of rejection, the instinct to perform and protect. This was the moment the human being became governed from the outside inward instead of the inside outward. This is why ego is the oldest empire, the first tyrant, the original false ruler of the inner republic. The bite was not about fruit, it was about perception. To know good and evil was to experience the self as something that could be wrong, something that could be not enough, something that could stand outside of love. Once this idea took root, the psyche broke into two halves. The one who is watched, the one who is watching. Self versus self, the first civil war. Every empire that conquers its people begins with this pattern, an internal fragmentation that leaves the citizen vulnerable to the external ruler. The ego didn't just turn humans against God. It turned humans against themselves, and divided selves build divided societies. Fear-based individuals create fear-based governments. Shame-based minds create shame-enforcing cultures. People who distrust their inner authority surrender it to outer authorities. The bite, therefore, did not just fracture consciousness. It laid the groundwork for every system of control in human history. Every quiet slavery traced back to one moment. The moment humanity forgot its original wholeness. This is why awakening matters. This is why sovereignty matters. This is why liberty cannot be sustained by fractured people. A whole republic cannot rise out of broken identities. And so, episode 2 asks a sovereign question. If ego was born in a bite, can unity be reborn in a breath? Because the path out of bondage, spiritually, psychologically, politically, begins not with tearing down structures, but with healing the split inside the self. Before the republic can emerge, the individual must reunify. Before liberty can be remembered, the soul must remember itself. The bite fractured the inner kingdom. What comes next is the story of how it can be restored. This has been another chapter of When Liberty Remembers. If this stirred something in you, if you felt the door open, good. Welcome. Thank you for being here. The Republic is waking in those who listen. Join us for the next episode and step deeper into the architecture of your own sovereignty. Please hit all the buttons, like, subscribe, support me any way you can. There is a Buy Me a Coffee link somewhere in the bio or comments or description. Not comments, in the description. Definitely feeling changes in the world, and it can be very unsettling, especially if you've been out there for a while and haven't been able to find other like-minded people. We're here. We're out here. With this project, I'm hoping to bring more people together. Please support the work. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled to be able to do what I am doing currently. Hopefully this resonates with you. Thank you again.